Good evening, everybody. This is the December 10th meeting of the Nottingham Conservation Commission. Welcome to our program today. I'm Sam Demerit. I chair the commission. To my right is Deb Kimball, who is the vice chair. To my left is Susan Mooney, who is the secretary. And to my far right is Liz Katowski, who is chair of the Trails Committee. We will, let's see, okay, Pledge of Allegiance is next. Find it.
Find a
flag.
Okay. Find a flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Announcements. I think most of you are aware that Raylene Chippy Rice's husband, Dale, died. And the services for that will be this coming Saturday at 1 o'clock. Informal gathering, and the actual service will be at 1:30 at the Unitarian Church in Durham. I think it's 20 Madbury Road.
Mm-hmm. And I think a number of people will be going. Paul is going to attend, and Dan Kern is going to try as well.
You want that to be in the minutes, or it's just a general announcement?
General
Yeah.
Okay, next on my list is monitoring wrap-up. Do we have any?
Yeah, I'm right here with my yesterday's easement walk. So I only have 2 copies, probably have a third somewhere.
Is that for the friend?
Yeah.
Deb, did you say yesterday?
I just did it yesterday,
Okay, thank you.
and it was not the entire property, it's just way too wet.
Mm-hmm.
The area, I walked first along, counterclockwise first along the, I guess, north side of the pond, which is really on the abutter's property. And while we spoke of that last year, that we need to get permission, or should investigate that, I did not. I just walked. It's that established trail that the friend Grays had been maintaining for many, many years, but that still needs to be done. So I did walk until where the stream is. I remember Sam fell there once. I know I've fallen there once. That was like 20 feet wide this time around, and I was like, well, there's no jumping across this stream. So I stopped there, and I just took some pictures of the pond at that point, and then just walked along the edge. So walked back through the fields, the blueberry field, took a picture of the newer of the lodges, the beaver lodges, because there's 2, but the newest one, which we had noticed last year.
Are they raising the water level? Is that what?
Well, it could be that when I was checking the stream, it seems like they could be behind that widening stream on the other side. Looked like there was a berm where the little berm had formed before the pond, so it was like flowing but having to go over this berm. So whether they have been helping that area out or not. I did not in that area see any new chewings on that side, because there really isn't much there for them on that side. There's no hardwoods, there's only softwoods over there. So none of their favorite trees, so they may be going far and wide for their favorite trees in another direction. At any rate, then I walked along, they have another established trail on the other side, so heading south. And
that's near a stone wall?
Yeah, it's going along the blueberry field, and then you keep heading south. And I walked along that trail until I couldn't go any further, and it was wet again. And then I just kind of skirted around that and just headed as much as I could towards 156. So in the woods on the north side, of the big stream there, and then walk towards 156.
So you did quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't go anywhere near took a picture, I mean, I didn't go anywhere near the Epping boundary,
Mhm.
so,
In the back.
yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I spoke with both Gwen and Julie at the craft fair a couple weeks ago, and, I just had asked, anything new going on? And like, no, nothing new, everything's just been the same, so
They would see
there really
something.
weren't any changes from,
Did you see that hunter's stand that we saw?
I couldn't even
Couple
get
years-
that far.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why, I couldn't get that far, I only went up to that stream.
Yeah.
So that was nowhere, but I did see this, and I emailed Gwen about that. I don't know if that's a surveyor stake, it was near one of the
Yeah.
new
yeah.
house, the new abutters are, because there's new houses in there, and one of them has really cleared. And we mentioned that last year, about 20 feet within the, really the
Wetland.
pond, yeah. But that was before, so that would have been west of, no, it would have been east of the house, a little bit
Right.
east. So that was the only one I saw there. I didn't see a whole series of them, so I don't know what that was, but it was right along the trail.
So is
And
a new house going in this lot? Is that what you said, Deb?
There's already a house was built in 2016. There was a house built really close. I mean,
Because there's supposed to be a setback of primary structures, meaning the house and septic, of 50 feet for poorly drained soils.
Yeah, and these are.
75 feet for
The
very
house-
poorly
yeah,
drained.
the house is definitely,
50 feet?
oh yeah,
Okay.
definitely. It's like 75
But we
or
don't have
100
any
feet.
restrictions for clearing right up to the wet,
Yeah,
We
so
don't have-
basically they're just expanding their yard is what they're doing.
right down to the,
Yeah, yeah. So I noticed that, a big difference from last year. But, I mean, I thought it might be worth it to, maybe give them some literature about the easement and what it is, because they may not be aware of it. And there's no medallions up. We need to, I should grab some medallions, and I think the best time for marking the boundaries there really is the middle of winter with snowshoes, when everything's frozen. That's really the best time because
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
wetland areas. I mean, any other time of year, it's pretty difficult. Then we could just walk along, walk across the pond, and I've done that before, in the middle of winter, is walk across the pond. Be a heck of a lot easier.
yeah. So you went by yourself, Deb?
I went by myself with
Okay.
my dog, yes.
Thank you for that.
Kind of curious, what is this, is that a blaze mark on that
Yeah, it's just a
tree?
blaze.
Is that on the property, or is that,
That one is on the property,
no,
yeah. They have orange blazes. Their trail is marked with orange
Oh,
blazes now.
okay.
Yeah, they've been maintaining their trails.
okay. Okay.
I do have one thing for Hylands. I had typed up a letter addressing noncompliance on one of the parcels up at Hylands. I don't know if you had a chance to take a look at it, but I would like us to vote to send this to the select board, and then they can do the follow-up, since this is really their job for that. I have 3 copies, and what I did with these copies is, the top thing is the letter I just recently wrote on December 5th for the violations we noted on November 13th. The second copy is a report to the same residents in 2014, and then I copied another one, sent to the same residents. This was their first year there, 2011. So this is this year, and then 2 historical documents are the following documents. So these are copies, and if you choose to do so, we can send them along to the select board. They've already received a copy of the overall monitoring report. And they also received the photographs too that were in color.
What's unclear for me with this letter is it's not very strongly worded in terms of you must stop this and not do it.
No, we don't have the authority to do that.
Yeah,
But
but
they
I'm saying
know-
instead of,
So what does the select board do?
I'm wondering whether we should draft a letter for this, like this is historical, but
Oh, this
draft
one-
a, draft.
This one's not historical. The top
No,
one
I know
is.
it's the recent one, but
Yeah.
I'm saying this explains what the situation is now and what it has been in the past. But if we drafted a letter for the selectmen to send to them that was more strongly worded, which would have our suggestion of, otherwise it's just kind of like, oh, FYI, you're doing this again. Rather than us using the authority of the select board, like, and advising them to take action.
Well, my thought was to send this to the select board with a little note on top that we voted to send this letter to you so that you may take this into your jurisdiction for enforcement. I don't think we can ask the select board to enforce it. I mean, they should know that's their job.
But I mean, it's the easement, we're responsible for overseeing it.
Town is.
Right, but I mean, the town,
They
they're the only ones with,
have
the
the authority.
authority.
That's correct.
and so I think we should advise them to take enforcement action. Otherwise, the next time somebody goes out there and they see it again, it's just gonna be another letter of,
How about the Hylands monitoring report was written on November 19th and closed, well, but not here, and submitted to the select board, along with copies of the photos after the commission reviewed the information at the November 19 meeting. Do you want another line that says it is the authority of the select
the
board to
select
do
board has
blah,
the
blah,
authority
blah?
and you will be hearing from the select board.
See,
We gotta,
I don't
no.
think we can do that.
Well, that's why I'm saying if we wrote a letter to the select board detailing and showing the three
Can we just write a note on top?
documents and saying, you know, we think it's time that something be done, could you please
Wanna do
consider?
that?
Could you
Letterhead?
please consider taking some stronger action? Our advising the residents has not yielded any results
Okay.
to date.
Well, that could be something that Sam does on letterhead. We voted at the meeting today by a vote of 4-0 to send this to the select board to follow up with enforcement, so this does not continue to be,
Yeah, something like that is what I had in mind.
and I can help you with that after the meeting.
Okay. So we wanna make that motion.
You know, if it were the first time, it would be one thing, but it
Liz,
not
do you
being
wanna
the-
make the motion?
Why don't you make the motion, Liz?
I'd like to make a motion that we take this letter that Sue has drafted and
And
I
have a
don't-
cover letter on top of that with a, take this letter, add a cover letter to
add
the
a
Board of
cover letter to the
Selectmen,
Board of Selectmen,
asking for,
asking for them to follow up on this
okay.
with potential enforcement action because it has been going on for
Is there a second?
I'll
a period
second
of
it.
7 years or something like that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And, sorry, all four ayes, so
Okay.
there's no noes and no abstentions.
They can decide what enforcement action is appropriate, it's just that notification doesn't seem to be strong enough.
Okay, any other monitoring?
No, I think
Yeah.
everybody else is all set.
Okay. Next on the agenda is Trails Committee list.
Okay, well, I don't have a lot to report on. We did have a meeting on the first Tuesday of the month, so it was on the 6th of December. Sam was there, Deb, Celia, and I. And so we attended to business, including looking at minutes. And we were not able to have a second workday in November as planned because the weather just did not cooperate. It was way too cold and too rainy. So we did, in fact, have a workday this past Saturday up at the Kennard Forest, and that was actually rather productive. Sue and Celia and I met first, and we did a little clipping and a lot of walking to see what the status was of things. And then we met with Jim Arsenault. He is a mapper who's working with us to develop a topographic map of that property because it does have interesting topography, interesting water features, and rock features. So there are a number of cliffs and just lovely things for people to see. Not on the main trails that we've used before, but in other parts of the property. So Sue had to leave at that point, and Celia and I walked with Jim up to the top of the hill. We walked him around the loop trail, as it was, and then over to the cellar hole. And from there, we let him loose to go and do his field checking and mapping. And Celia and I went from the stone wall boundary at the top of the property where the trail comes in, and we actually flagged an entire trail all the way back down to a stone bound and then up and over a knoll and back to the area. And actually, it's in a different place than where we were going in, Sue.
Yeah, was it on the other side of the wet?
It was on the other side of the wet, up on that
Highland, yeah.
hillside. So it turned out that we found this marvelous route. I'm gonna pass this doesn't show the blue trails, the existing trails all that well, but it shows the cellar hole in its proximity to the trails. And some of the sites that one could see along the way, it goes first of all through open hardwood forest, and then eventually down into,
So the pink is the new one.
pink is the new one. So that really expands access to a larger part of that area. We were very happy with the route that we picked in the end. We learned some things walking up from there with
Little
Sue.
meandering.
before.
Is it on
It's a
the
little
east
purposeful
side?
meandering.
Would you describe that as the east side?
It's on the east side of
property?
existing
Okay.
trails. And so, there are a lot of, you remember the cluster of rocks, Sue? The turtle head rock?
Oh, yeah.
That's on
yeah.
here now.
Cool.
There's another area that Celia
Thank
called.
goodness for Celia.
Fort
She does a
Rock.
nice job with her maps.
She does a fantastic job with the map. And,
This would be the hardwood
and it
forest
goes
here.
over a knoll, and by crossing over at the bound,
Turtlehead Rock. There we go. Thank you for that. Yeah, cool.
yeah. So, eventually what we want to do for the property is have something kind of like this map. This has topography on it, but the topography doesn't show up as well as I'd like it to.
Okay.
That's a CELT map for another property in Deerfield and Nottingham. And here's what Jim was out there for about 6 hours the other day.
Oh my God, really?
And in that amount of
Saturday?
time, he mapped all the wetlands, all the stone walls, including the breaks in the stone walls,
Property off Deerfield Road.
all the boulders,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
all the cliffs, all the knolls.
Oh,
So
goodness.
this is not
Saturday
the
was a
finished
cold
map,
day.
but that just shows some of the information that we have to choose from. The black dots are all boulders. And the, there's a cliff symbol, and we'll make this all kind of, we'll select what we want to actually have on the final map, and the topographic lines will be not quite so prominent, the brown topographic lines. So we're gonna kind of take the best of all those maps and make something that really provides information. We probably won't put all the boulders on, or the little tiny black dots or stony ground. But it's interesting to see what's out there. And the map that Jim has drafted so far, those parallel lines on it are heading to magnetic north. So you can use those for taking a compass bearing without actually having to adjust for declination. So,
What is his background besides being a mapper, and was that what he did?
he
That
was
his
in the
career?
military for many years, and I believe he's a financial
Advisor or
manager,
something?
but not in the private sector.
Ah.
You know, one of the things we don't do is talk about
Oh, I was just wondering if
work.
he had any
I know
geology.
him through orienteering, and he's just finished, making a map of like Weeks Woods, which is a property. It's a property for the Forest Society over near Laconia, and he's just finished mapping all of Gunstock, that mountain there, the trails and
So
the
he's got a
ski
good
trails.
reputation then.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
he,
Thank you.
he is very skilled and very quick. The topographic lines on that are taken from LiDAR.
Oh, you had spoken about
Maps.
that, yeah.
Yeah, so instead of just relying on what you can get from the USGS, which has, some general topography, you get quite a bit of, and we can actually show it with, that's a 16-foot contour interval. We could do it with probably a 10-foot contour interval or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
To even show how much steeper it is, but we don't want to make it a
Messy.
cluttered map.
Yeah.
And so that's what we'll be talking about, is how can we take the information we have, certainly having the water information, the water resource information on that map will lead us to,
What are the little X's?
the little X's are rootstocks. Remember when we were trying to walk and there were all those trees that had toppled down in the
Oh,
wind?
yeah,
So that's the
Toppled down.
base of the toppled tree.
I see. And then there was a triangle here. Was that just a shooting point? It's near a boulder outcropping.
It might be Boulder Field,
Yeah, here's a boulder field right here.
yeah.
Or one of those emergent rock formations, and there's a triangle there.
There's a green circle at one point.
That's the cellar hole?
No.
Back this way. Up in the corner, I think, right there.
Oh, that square?
The square is the cellar hall.
Oh, okay. In the
There's
little-
that green circle, and that's actually a really large, prominent tree that stands out by itself,
Uh-huh.
a big pine. So, we can pick and choose
Yeah.
what we want to put on the map, but
I love maps.
It's not
Yeah.
somewhere in here, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm amazed that he was able to actually
right at the end of this.
do that much field checking in one day. Because it's a lot of terrain to cover, going back and forth. He was
Long
zigzagging.
day, 6 hours, and it was cold Saturday.
It was very cold. And he had his tablet. He had a GPS unit in his hat that spoke to the tablet that he was carrying and doing all that. So anyway, we've made some progress on that, and the Trails Committee will pay him, we hope. We haven't voted on it, for his efforts, and he's not charging us very much, considering the time he's putting into this.
Okay.
That's about it. We will be meeting again on January 3rd. And,
What was the name of that, program? Kevlar? blah, blah?
LiDAR, LIDAR.
Oh, thank you.
That's a type of mapping that's.
LY,
LIDAR.
D-A-R.
And I think if you capitalized L, that's fine. In some places you'll see it lowercase, in some places you'll see it all caps, LIDAR.
Yeah, I've got it all capped in the last minute.
Any of those are acceptable. It's one of those.
Software?
That's not the software he's using to create this map.
Oh,
He's using an actual orienteering software. It's called Orienteering Computer Assisted Design, so it's OCAD.
okay,
So,
thank you.
too much information, right?
Too much, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I will also say that probably this week, I'm gonna be going out with, one of our chainsaw people, probably Mark Wagling, and, doing cut some blowdowns.
Where's that?
On
Same-
the Kennard, on the.
No,
Or out back.
we're probably gonna go to, I'd like to go to the Miriam Daggett property.
Uh-huh.
Or a portion of Marshwoods. But Mark's also interested in cutting blowdowns behind this building. And, but we discovered on our walk the other day that there are a lot of blowdowns now that weren't there
Yeah.
on the Kennard Forest, that were not there just a couple months ago.
That's good.
Okay.
Say 10, yeah.
Next on my list is the Bearpaw report. We got the annual meeting coming up on the last Saturday in January over at the Hooksett Library. The meeting will start at 10 o'clock, I believe.
What's the date on that?
The last Saturday in January,
Oh, okay, I will have to miss it. this year.
26th, I think.
There's something else on that day for the town, I thought. January 26th.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be away. Too bad.
But I can give more information.
Do you have a speaker?
Yeah, yes, but I don't remember who he is.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute, maybe,
Is it in-
let's see if I have it in here. Might be in here.
No, it's not on this calendar, whatever it is, on the 26th.
Outreach and education. Ding, 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 ding. Rick Elsmore.
Rick Elsmore.
Isn't he
LL.
from used to work for the Soil Conservation Service, didn't he?
Could be, I don't know.
And do you have any more information? I'd just Google him and see what he does.
Yeah, that's all I've got on here.
Okay.
I talked to him about the program that I saw at the Association of Conservation Commissions in November on the beavers. And they maybe would like to try to schedule some of that, the fellow from Fish and Game to do that program somewhere in the Bearpaw area, or maybe a few places. Okay. Lamprey River Watershed Association, we had the meeting tonight before I got here. What did I do with the new executive director has got a pretty good outline of what she's gonna be doing, so, over the next month or two. She's attended a number of conferences, UNH Invasives Academy. She was at the statewide conference of the Association for Conservation Commissions. She did met with the Center for Nonprofits Development 101 program. She did a UNH Marketing and Media Workshop at the Portsmouth Golf Club. She did another UNH one, Floodplains Administrator 101. And she did UNH program on wildlife and effects of climate change. And she's staying pretty busy. We had to change next month's meeting because she's gonna be out of the way from somewhere during the regular time, so we're gonna be meeting the first Monday of January, which is the 7th.
Are you talking about Susan Peterson?
No,
Who is it?
no, this is Chris
Blackstone.
Blackstone.
The LRWA as opposed to the LREC.
Oh, okay, gotcha, sorry.
That's good, we finally got somebody.
She, full-time or half-time?
Part-time. Probably close to half-time. She's a former school administrator, teacher.
So she's retired, so.
Yeah, she's retired from those and was looking for something to do part-time.
Yeah, right.
What is her name again? I'm sorry.
Chris, is it Chris?
Flagged?
It's Blackstone, that's what
Yeah,
you told us
Blackstone, yeah, Blackstone.
last week.
Thank you.
Last month.
Trying to think of it's Chris or Chrissy, and it's actually, I'm trying to think, is it Christina maybe?
With a K or a C?
C. Okay, correspondence.
Would this be a good time to have Therese talk about the LRAC?
Yeah.
Sure, if she wants to.
Do you want to say it?
You're all over me for petting the dog.
I know they're meeting tomorrow
You want to
night.
come up here?
Like, meeting what?
They're meeting tomorrow night.
Yeah. So, my name is Therese Thompson, you probably already, all know me already, and
Why don't
You
you
wanna
come
come
up
on
here?
up here?
Why don't you come up?
I
and
just
sit?
moved back to town.
Or over there?
You want a
I looked on
microphone?
the website, and you guys had someone for the other committee, not this one, so I volunteered. But I got some good news, though.
Well,
There's a,
let's try to get a
Therese.
microphone down there.
Microphone.
oh, bring it down, sorry. So they did a bat survey, which included Raymond, Lee, Epping, and Nottingham. And so I forwarded to Sue Mooney the final report, and some, did you try to listen to the bats?
I did.
Oh,
The
good.
cat jumped.
My cats weren't happy either when I played them on the computer. But anyways, they're gonna have I just found it, where is it? Crazy, too much stuff. Here it is. They're going to do on January 31st, a Thursday, at 4 p.m. at the Epping Library. They're gonna do the bat presentation. So the people who did that bat survey has already done it for our committee. But I just looked at the minutes I printed out tonight, the agenda for tomorrow night's meeting, and saw that, was like, that's cool. So what I want to bring up with you guys, and I sent it to Sue, was Barrington had requested some money having to do with a master plan for their town. And they would be very excited, the Lamprey River Advisory Committee would be very excited if Nottingham would want to be interested in some funding for their next master plan. And Sue Mooney was nice enough to tell me this, the one that you guys just finished was 2012. And the money is going to be available in 2020, so it's a year and, a month notice here. And you can get up to $7,500 to do it. And what they're trying to encourage is to have more and more maps, and as you guys are already doing, it sounds like, of land that needs to be protected. So I'll pass this around. You can see in the Lamprey River watershed how important Nottingham is. Extremely important. And I guess because Barrington is in Stratford County, we have to go into Rockingham County. I have to find out more information about that.
Well, we use Stratford Regional Planning.
We're in Stratford Regional Planning?
We're in Stratford Regional Planning Commission, even though we're in Rockingham County.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way the state divided it up, because there weren't that many towns, I guess. in
I'm glad you
Stratford
straightened me out about that. Holy
County.
cow.
Northwood is also there too.
Huh, interesting. So, not knowing what my future jobs are and when I'm gonna be available and stuff, I did attend some other meetings. So we've got all kinds of subcommittees, if I guess you could call it. So I attended the Outreach, Rec, History, and Wildlife Work Group. And there is two amazing guys. One who used to live in Berkeley, California, now lives in Maine. And the other guy, I don't remember what town he lived in, that are going to do river classrooms for elementary students in Deerfield and Raymond, and I asked if we get Nottingham involved. And they said, at first yes, and then they decided no, but we're gonna do a river cleanup on May 11th and a public paddle with 49 paddlers from Newmarket out to the Great Bay and back, if you're interested.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
they've done a lot of these already.
Wow.
And since I've been out, I was on it in 2012, and then, of course, my workload got crazy and couldn't attend meetings. But they've also published 2 books regarding history here in this area. And I just noticed this fireworks debris in the river ecology. The other committee I attended this past week is the project review. That was insane. In Epping, they want to tear down one existing small apartment and put up 3 new duplex buildings and 12-unit apartment house.
Where?
Right off of Route 27, and just north on the east side of 125? 125.
In that corner?
It's not the corner, but
Okay.
no,
Because
it's,
there is some old buildings right over the.
I haven't driven it yet, but yeah, it
The
was
east side or the west side?
the east side of 125. But it's
On
north
27.
of 27. So what road is it on? Ladd's Lane,
Oh,
L-A-D-D.
okay, that's where the theater is.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
The other one we looked at was highway resurfacing in Epping, Raymond, and Fremont in order to prevent pollution. And then the third one we looked at, which was life-changing, in my opinion, Newfields Wetlands. They want to do a 5,700 square foot access across one of the wetlands that are there. And then all they're asking about is the crossing, but we noticed that they're going to put in 11 lots that are half an acre, which also had wetlands. But we're only supposed to give the opinion of the crossing, but we included some of the other stuff too. So there's several subcommittees, and as you know, very busy doing a lot of really great things. And the website still says that there's small grants, because the selectmen have asked me to get involved in road salt, some testing here in Nottingham. So I have been trying to reach the professor at UNH. She doesn't answer. She's not coming to our meetings anymore. I guess she just had a baby. And so this is still on the website, but I was told by email last night it's no longer available, those small grants.
So this, okay.
And then I found out,
But they will be again, right?
no, it's a different grant. So the master plan is going to be a different grant. It's going
No, I
to
mean,
be called something else.
For road
I was
salt?
told before that there were small grants available for the trail projects.
I don't know about the trail projects. I was just
Okay.
looking into what's
Was
on the
that
website.
specifically for road salt, for towns? to
Oh, no,
address
no,
road
it's for anything you want,
salt?
right.
Oh, okay.
But right now, it's on hold. The budget's on hold. And I don't understand why. It's only attended the first meeting, so I don't know. But then I found, and I sent it to the selectmen. I think I sent it to you, Sue, too. No, you know who I sent it to? Cheryl Smith, I think I said, sent to. still got mail coming from her, and she hasn't lived there since the 90s. I don't understand. So they came to my house to pick it up, my rental to pick it up. May of 2018, a researcher at UNH included 3 sites in Nottingham having to do with road salt. So we already have data.
Oh, no, wonderful.
Yeah, so we'll see what the selectmen say if they want to still do more stuff. I am going to be teaching an environmental science course with the lab this semester, NHTI, and I'm trying to, I guess, Lamprey River does, Watershed Association does some type of testing with road salt.
No, they don't do road salt.
We do conductance.
We do conductance in the
Okay,
river itself,
oh, in the river
Little
itself.
River and the North River.
Okay.
yeah, over the
In the
bridges.
summer, not in the winter.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm trying to see if we have equipment at the college I'm teaching at next semester, and we don't have the correct, and I'm trying to get a hold of someone at New Hampshire DES to see what I need, and then find out if my boss will purchase it, and I'd actually like to take the students on a field trip here and get samples and bring it back and do the testing.
Provide
But,
data. That would
but
be
I
great.
don't know if that's gonna happen. You know, they said I can't spend more than $100. It's like, what?
Wow, that's quite the budget.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Buy a
it's
shovel.
it's per device, 100, so I don't know how much it is. So they're actually asked the part-time lab assistant to look into a different technique that's more accurate than what we have there. So that's really great. So we have several meetings coming up. It's just, I'm impressed,
Well, if you do, I mean,
how
we
much they have done.
I just want to interject and say
Yes.
that we do have a kit for our summer testing.
Yes, I have contacted, who did I contact? I didn't print it out.
So
Was it you
put
that I
me on
contacted?
it. Yeah,
Yeah, that was you I
Um,
contacted,
yeah.
right.
'Cause she's in charge of our.
Right.
And I have the equipment, but if you're testing in town and just, I wouldn't want it to go to, all the way, but if you're testing in town or whatever, you're welcome to.
All right, that's great. I've got your email. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 meetings in January, and 3 already set in February. So,
Can I add another one to your list of meetings?
sure.
The new master plan committee?
Oh, the one in January?
The one in January.
Yeah, I wrote it at my computer at
The
home.
15th.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
good, good. Because
Yeah.
that would be a good time to come.
yeah, oh yeah, I would definitely have come.
Yeah, the master plan is under the.
What day of the week was that?
Tuesday.
Excellent. So this semester I'm teaching Tuesday, Thursday, next semester I'm teaching Wednesday, Friday.
Oh, that'll work then, yeah.
But I have to get another job
But
in order to pay
master
rent.
plan, stuff goes through the planning board by,
Right.
per
Oh, thanks.
RSA. So we can encourage the planning board to do so, but I don't think that we're allowed to do that.
Right. So do you guys have any questions for me?
No, but that's great to have you reporting on that and serving.
Well,
You know that some of the Conservation Commission members were involved with the bat study? Did you know that?
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had a feeling you didn't know that.
Krista,
It was
Oh,
near where
Christina,
Cheryl and Charlene live.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was,
So
wasn't
Cheryl-
there monitoring
The final
on their
report's
part?
not
Cheryl
gonna
and
show the
Chris-
places. Interesting.
Cheryl, Kristen Lamb,
Huh.
and Celia Abrams were involved in taking people around from the LRAC
Huh.
to show them potential sites
Interesting.
where
A good place to have it.
the monitoring could
Right.
be done.
Right.
Yeah.
So we knew about the study, we're glad to get that report and the
Yeah.
things that you sent us.
yeah, I'd be interested in, if I can make it.
The
4 p.m.
presentation.
though is, yeah, but
That'd be fun,
maybe.
yeah.
Is it gonna be like an hour long, 4 to 5?
Don't know. I would imagine,
no
but don't
idea.
know.
Yeah.
I'll find out tomorrow night.
Okay.
We also, something that might be of interest to you, just to know, I wouldn't, make any statements about it yet, but we're working on a stream protection ordinance for Nottingham.
Excellent.
Not sure if it's gonna fly for town meeting this year or not. That's one of the topics that we're gonna discuss.
Excellent.
We have drafted some language, and the planning board has supported it.
That's
and
great.
It's supposed to go to an attorney for a look-see on whether this is compatible with existing right. And so we're trying to move it along so that it can be voted on at town meeting in March, but.
So for the whole town? The whole,
Right.
so
The,
any streams in Nottingham?
The, hit a little bit of a bump in the road. Chris Sterndale got back to me and said it needs to be in the format of how it's gonna be placed in the zoning ordinance. And for that, it needs to go to a planner. So we had voted to send it to legal, but legal won't look at it until it's in the correct format. So on Wednesday, I'm gonna propose that we job it out ASAP. Maybe Jack Meddy or Stratford Regional Planning. The last day to post and publish notice for a first public hearing on proposed adoption or amendment of the zoning ordinance is January 10th.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of time.
So we'll just have to see what happens at Wednesday's meeting, which is really too bad because
We were ready quite a while ago.
we were ready and.
Well, it's not like you already did the work.
Yeah, but it just got to the bottom of the pile and wasn't attended to. We lost a whole month. And it wasn't until I asked about it that it was brought up, oh, was I supposed to do that? So, you know, people,
Well, it's great that you're on two committees,
Anyway,
too.
We're working on things like
Yeah.
that, just a heads up. It may not happen this year, it
Right.
might be
Next year.
2020.
Well, once again,
But
that's
we're
when the
working
money's
on
gonna be available if
something.
you ever wanna work on a new master plan and stuff, so that'd be great.
it's gonna cost about 20 for a whole new master plan as well.
20,000? What do you mean?
10 and 10, we're figuring, for the master plan update. And then also to hire a half-time planner. You know, the.
Well, 7,500 will help.
Because we're just dead in the water these days.
7,500 would help.
It would help a lot.
But you say that might not be till 2020?
But it's a two-year program, you know,
Right.
this master plan initiative.
Whenever
It's my
stuff
understanding
came
from the
up.
meeting minutes, from the meeting I was, just attended last month, is that everything's on hold right now until 2020. Don't know why.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't understand.
No.
I'll find out tomorrow night.
One other thing I'll tell you and the rest of the crew also is I got an email from Suzanne Peterson, about 5 or 6 tonight, about, remember I had applied for a National Park Service grant
Right.
for trail work on the
Yeah. And you did a lot of work on that grant.
Marshwood's property, yeah. And apparently she heard today or yesterday from her contact at the National Park Service, who wanted to know if we had done any work on the property and what the status was, because there might be another grant opportunity with them.
Very good.
So, I'll keep you all apprised of that, but, you know,
National Park or with LRAC?
well, both, because Suzanne, as with the LRAC, acts as the agent, yeah, she is, with the National Park Service. So, last year, we had kind of a disappointment with our grant application because we spent quite a bit of time and we had lots of information in there. And then it turned out they really just wanted a very short abstract with some budget numbers. But the good thing about it was it really got us moving on working on that property, and we've done a lot of work since then. So that's, and some of the things we had put into the initial proposal, we've actually abandoned those and have come up with better ideas. So it was not bad that it was turned
Gave
down,
us
and I'm
time to
glad
sit
that,
back and take a look.
yeah, and like a lot of things, you know.
Yeah,
And as long as you keep moving toward the goal, and I do think that, you know, the fact that Park Service person specifically asked Suzanne whether we had done any work on that property and showed an interest,
yeah.
I thought was quite positive,
Oh,
so.
that's good,
Yeah.
that's good, good.
So anytime I need to give you guys anything, I'll be sending it to Sue.
All right, and I'll send it out, yeah.
Perfect.
And of course, I'll contact the selectmen on a regular basis and bring them up to date what's going on.
We have needed
Denise?
somebody in that position for a while, and we're lucky to have you back.
Oh, thanks, I'm really glad to be back, I just wanna stay here. I'm gonna try to get maybe, because my unemployment ends this month, I'm gonna try to get like a retail job, maybe on weekends. So if I get chosen next fall to teach another course, community college, you only teach one course. So I applied at Nashua, they wanted me to teach on a Tuesday and Thursday night in Peterborough.
Wow, that's a long ways.
And then I have to get up at 5 a.m. to teach an NHTI. It's like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Not that crazy.
And then that drive in the winters, 101, like.
It'd be
come on.
easier going to Mass. I mean, Northern, like, I don't know, I'm thinking, community,
Well,
what's the community
you know.
college? There's a Northern Mass Community College too.
UMass Lowell.
Well, there's also,
I just heard from Lowe tonight.
Northern Essex Community
yeah,
College.
NACO down in Haverhill.
I'm applying also in Deerfield, and I've already applied in Raymond for substitute teaching. Not have to drive anymore.
And they always need that. There is even, you wouldn't want to do that because you'd be stuck, but there's always permanent subs, because they do provide benefits too. There's schools that have just every day you go in and,
Yeah, it's been a very interesting experience.
Merry
Good luck.
Christmas. Merry
Like,
Christmas.
Look at thousands of people in that college at one.
Oh, I know. Well, my nephew had just graduated when that happened too.
Oh,
Just-
really?
Yeah, he was the last
Ah.
class to.
Yeah, reading the stories about that, that was very
I
upsetting.
got an email today from a student that, I don't know how many years ago, because I taught there 13 years.
Wow.
Trees, I really miss you. And I'm now working for a solar company.
Cool.
And we want to put up this huge piece of platform in order for birds to have their nests, and who should I talk to, and it's so cool.
Oh, that's nice to have those
Yeah.
contacts.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
bye.
you. Thank you.
Okay.
January 10th.
There's one other thing that I guess we'll talk about at some point. I don't know if you want to do it before or after the minutes, and that was the Bateman easement. Did you want to discuss anything? Excuse me.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about
Or I
that.
guess I shouldn't be using the,
Yeah, we can, talk about that now if we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, we could do that.
And I'm gonna take this, if this is okay, this supply lines, it's all about lead
yeah,
and water.
that's good.
But I'm doing that with my students.
Oh,
Arsenic
wow.
testing, so I thought it would be, they have some stuff in the back here on arsenic and PFAS. I'm still calling them PFOAs, but
Yeah.
PFAS is the new acronym for that, so I'll take that.
Okay.
This is the last email from Jeremy. I don't
Okay.
know how much of that you want to make public.
I had read, I read the one you sent out.
A lot of options. It's hard to know which way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not sure where it's going at this point.
I guess he has to speak with them about what they're willing to do
Yeah.
before we can really come up with a strategy.
Talking about the owners now or the
The
potential
owners.
buyers?
The owners now.
Well, I think he's, the current owners and
It's interesting, he mentioned that there were 3 sets of potential buyers. I thought that they were all set with one particular buyer.
Not able to do so without an easement in place, can't afford the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that person might qualify as a potential buyer, but would need to have a conservation easement purchase.
Is that the person with the animals on the property right now?
well, they were on the
No.
property.
Oh, they were?
Oh, they were
Yeah.
the Longhorns,
Are they gone?
I
They're
haven't
gone.
seen- I haven't
Yeah.
seen them out there.
yeah.
The Compty property was a conservation easement purchase.
Right. how
And
did
money
that
from the
work?
conservation fund went to assist at the same time that the property was being purchased.
Yeah.
So there's a precedent there.
Okay.
But I think there needs to be a discussion, maybe with CELT and Conservation Commission with the Board of Selectmen,
Mhm, yeah.
probably ASAP.
What do we have in funds?
I don't know, I asked, Chris for that, and I didn't get anything back yet.
Yeah. The
And we
latest,
still don't, speaking of things to follow up with Chris on, we still don't know when the closing is gonna be on the easement for Kennard. Unless something happened recently, that would be nice.
Let me see what, let's see. Okay. The From the letter from Bear Pond, I'm glad to inform you that the conservation easement was completed and recorded with a survey at the Rockingham County Registry of Deeds on October 30th.
It was?
For the county,
Oh,
So say that again, I'm sorry.
So it is all complete now.
County property,
Kendra,
conservation easement was completed and recorded with a survey at the Rockingham County Registry of Deeds on October 30th.
on October 30th, oh.
Book 5957, page
Okay.
2629.
Can you read that more slowly, please? The
5-9.
book,
Book 5957,
okay,
page 2629.
2629.
yeah, the reason I'm,
And what was the date? October what?
October 30th.
October 30th, and this letter was dated October.
See, we didn't want to put medallions along the boundary of the property till we knew it had been recorded.
The total cost came to $15,341.07. The town has already paid $8,630.25, and Brown Engineering and Survey, to Bear Power and Brown Engineering and Survey, so the remainder due and shown on the invoice is $6,710.82.
Have you moved that information along?
Does that come out of the
I
conservation
just
fund?
picked
Yes,
this up.
it
does.
I just picked this up tonight.
Oh, okay.
Excellent, thank you. Good news.
And then the
Celia would be
the
delighted.
Shippey Rice Conservation easement was completed the same day.
Oh, that's interesting. I knew that theirs had been completed, but I didn't think they'd both
BK?
been done at the same
Book
time.
5957, page 2644.
Excellent.
And the Chenenko, okay, that was back on April. That book-
Right.
Book 5904, page 1372.
1372 was,
The total cost on that came to $3,751.08.
oh, that's not bad.
And the
Shippey Rice?
Shippey Rice property, total cost came to $14,069.08.
Okay.
I'm not gonna write those
Okay.
amounts down.
And that's it.
Wonderful. Wonderful news.
Yeah, anyway, so, I think, right now, we're kind of at a holding program on the Bateman property until we find out. I know we had talked about, going up to, what was the amount?
Let me see. This is what we had for information back in, August.
Yeah.
The town, in the conservation fund, 225,000, with another 15,000 arriving in the spring of 2019. So
At that point, yeah.
we had committed, there were 3 options. One was the town commitment of 239,960. It would close in 2019. The second option, close in 2020. The price would increase from the town, the commitment from the town would increase by about another $6,000 or $7,000. Is that right? By another $8,000. And if they do get money from the feds, ALE funds, the commitment of the town would drop to $166,000.
That'd be perfect.
But that, they just couldn't wait that long, so they have to move it. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
But we might need to have a chit chat. Once Jeremy is comfortable, if he's got a potential buyer that wants to talk with the town, under the same arrangement we made with the Contis, that
Yeah.
would be the best way to go and do
Yeah.
it like a,
Yeah.
Yep, terrific. I'm glad he's, continuing to move ahead on this.
He's
That's-
really got
It's
a
been a
lot
lot
of-
of work.
he's got a lot of hustle. And
Yeah,
Very
that's great.
impressed.
Hopefully, something can work. But right, if it worked in the Comte's situation, maybe it can work again.
Okay. Other correspondence, well, I guess we're in that. Got the monitoring report for the Applehurst Farm. which is the Harvey property.
Oh, okay.
And our section of it abuts the Harvey property in Epping. And
Sam, would you mind if I borrowed that, scanned it, and put it on the drive, and then gave you back the monitoring
What?
report
which one?
for Applehurst?
Oh, okay. And
Unless that's something that Dawn would do for us, is make a PDF of the document.
probably good if you can ask her.
So the file is speaking
Okay.
of monitoring reports.
Okay, we got that. Got a copy of the forest notes from the
Sorry.
Society for the Protection of New Hampshire Forests. I got a letter from DES. It's a copy of a letter to John and Lisa Moran at 23 Cove Road in Nottingham about an land resources management file number 2018-00674, tax map 68, lot 10. They did an inspection on the property in response to a complaint of installation of a dock without a permit from DES.
Is it a new dock? I couldn't tell, or was it
Well,
one that
They're not
they
sure
just
that-
became aware of?
Then, well, they became aware of it, and now they're trying to figure out. It's a dock of approximately 4 feet wide and 20 feet long, located along the shore of Pawtuckaway Lake. DES has no record that a permit was issued for the dock, and that they were looking for documentation that you have approval from DES to locate the dock on this frontage by the, approved wetlands permit, or demonstrate that the dock is owned by you and has been in existence as a grandfathered structure prior to September 4th, 1978.
I remember we got a note about that earlier from DES. And thought that they had found the wrong person, or the complaint was filed with the wrong person.
And there are a lot of docks that are not, that don't go back to 78, but they go back quite a ways. And whether or not there was ever a permit for that, I don't know.
Let's see. I do have, let's see, what's this one? Okay, this was. Okay, there's a note to, I guess you know about this one, so it's the scan the signature pages once they're signed from Selt, from Jeremy Luigi.
What is that one?
About the appraisal for the abatement farm project in Nottingham. Susan signed this and apparently went back to whomever, we got a copy of it.
Is this our John? It's here tonight, John Moran? Right here?
I don't know.
Because he lives on the lake.
Did they?
I think it may be.
No, let's see what we got. Oh, this is some information that was sent to Sandra Weston at Nottingham Town Clerk, and then she forwarded it to us. From the New Hampshire Department of Agriculture, Markets and Food State Lab Building, preventing the spread of Japanese knotweed,
Oh, that sounds good.
and a New Hampshire Guide to Upland
Oh, fifth
Invasive.
edition, yeah.
A newest edition?
The 5th edition of 2018 from Doug Seigan.
Excellent.
We have
So
those.
we're gonna put that in the file?
Yeah,
Well, I think that, select board needs to see that too.
Okay, we need to be sure we get it back and
Want
can
Nottingham
put it in the Conservation
on
Commission
top and
files, because that is something we'll
return
probably
to
refer
Nottingham
to.
Conservation Commission.
We've certainly talked about that topic enough.
property of,
Kick it down the road. And who published this?
this is New Hampshire, prepared by Doug Seigan and New Hampshire Department of Agriculture. This is 2018, so.
Good.
CYGAN.
CYGA,
GAN,
yeah,
thank you.
Douglas. And the other one too. Okay.
Yeah, that would be great. And what was the other one called?
The
An
other one
update.
was the new,
Invasive Species of New Hampshire, New
Yeah.
Hampshire Guide.
yeah, the New Hampshire Guide to Upland Invasive Species. And this is the 5th edition, 2018. And it includes a bunch of things.
Bunch of things. Yeah, you wanna write, Conservation Commission on the top of that.
Should this, I wonder, go to, or be shared with somehow? I don't know why we couldn't make a copy.
It's probably available online.
Yeah, but with the road crews?
Well, that's the Board of Selectmen, that's what they do. I mean, I did stop one time this past summer. The guy was cutting knotweed and I jumped out of my car and said, you can't do that.
Well, if we do get a new DPW director, this should be something that he or she is made aware of, not just the selectmen.
Okay.
You want to do minutes, or
Yeah,
you
I
want to
guess
go
we're down.
home,
I
or?
guess we're down to minutes.
And I really need to leave. I hate to do that, but I'm,
Okay.
can,
Do you want to do October 5th?
Sure.
Because that really, Liz had sent me some suggestions. You gonna take off, Deb? 'Cause I can make a
sorry.
copy.
I
Why
didn't
don't
get a
you
lot of
send one
sleep
to Liz?
last night, so.
So we already looked at these and reviewed them and gave you.
Yes, I
our-
did a couple of minor things, took out commas, extra words. I mean, there's an extra space here. I could fix that. And I put in your information. What I did that was, messy, oh, I need to put a space here. At the last meeting, and I said, I need to change this. Good night, Don,
Hi,
thank
Dawn.
you.
Hi, Dawn.
Under additional meeting, I had written it in the future tense initially, but it was really in the past tense.
Oh, okay.
So that whole paragraph, you might wanna just take a quick look at.
Which paragraph? Oh, on
Additional
the
meeting.
back side,
Yeah, I
okay.
had written that in the wrong tense, like
Yeah.
it was, to happen.
Here,
Good
Deb.
night, Deb.
Right,
Merry Christmas.
I'll probably be a year older the next time you see me.
I'm gonna be a year older on Wednesday.
Oh.
You are? You both have December birthdays? Oh, I'm January. A lot of winter birthdays.
Mine's a big one. I'm gonna drink heavily. I'm gonna celebrate by going to the planning board meeting.
Oh, la-di-da.
Oh. I don't see anything glaring.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I had to add a possessive somewhere. Okay. I move that we accept the minutes of October 15th
I second that.
as corrected.
Any further discussion?
No, I just want to say thank you to Sue for,
Okay.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I guess we have, I,
What do you want to do about the other minutes? Want to take care of those and then be done with everything?
sure.
And then I can type them all up and get them to Dawn to post. See, Deb left it on 8/17.
There you go, Liz.
we have to say that John Hatch is deceased. Or can we just say that we're painted by John Hatch? I don't know.
I think they shut the heat off already.
I think they
Well,
did.
do. It's automatic.
It's quite cold. Where we say conservation easement monitoring reports and updates, wondering about,
What bullet are you?
the third section there, conservation easement monitoring reports and
Right, what
updates.
bullet under there?
The first one?
Mhm.
How about saying Celia Abrams volunteer monitored the two easements instead of completed? Although you do say monitoring the next
It
day.
is, it's all right.
So I guess completed the two easement reports.
No, monitor's okay.
Okay, well, the next sentence then says monitoring was
Yeah, that's
done.
all right. I'm not going for
Okay.
a Pulitzer.
Abrams should be Abrams apostrophe.
Abrams summary?
Yep. There's apostrophe after the Fs.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And the same on the next bullet.
Oh, yeah. Under Menham's Landing, second line, where it says Menham's Landing Association, capitalize the L.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Checking something.
Should be.
Menham's Landing, and Menham's Landing Association actually does not, I'm not sure if there's an apostrophe in Menham's Landing. I'm pretty sure Menham's Landing Road does not have an apostrophe. Yeah. Everything I'm seeing here
No apostrophe,
says
take it
no
out.
apostrophe.
And should the these, before Manham's Landing Association is capitalized, should that be a small t?
There should be a small t. When did I do this? I did this Sunday morning, because I knew I wouldn't have a chance to do it any other time. It was not a happy camper.
Under Menham's Landing, last line, just say another copy was placed in the commission's files.
Another copy.
I mean, this is minor stuff.
Yeah, I don't care. Thank you. I appreciate your help.
actually, it was the report that was placed in the commission's files.
Another copy of the report.
Well, it was the report, wasn't it?
It says Mooney wrote the report and sent a copy to Mr. Daniels. Oh, you're saying the original report was placed in the commission's files? Is that what that should say?
Yeah.
Okay, the original report.
Or the report.
Or a report. How about,
Well, the one that Mr. Daniels got was a copy of the report, right?
right,
I would say the
Correct.
report was placed in.
so what do you want?
The report was placed
The
in.
report,
Was placed in the commission's files.
the report.
Should meeting be a small m, the next commission meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Under the fourth bullet, third line of the 19 properties with restrictions, put a comma after restrictions.
Freezing. Oh my
I am too. We're gonna make this very quick.
Let's see, I've got-
Under friend family, do you wanna mention that Deb took charge of that, or just,
Well,
do that
it hadn't
later.
happened,
yeah?
but in a
It
previous,
says the easement monitoring will be done in the near future.
yeah, in a previous minutes, I had said that.
Yeah, Deb and I were going to do that together, and it just never our timing
Yeah.
together never worked out. Um, on the second page,
Mhm.
top, where it says we pulled out the old trash from the mill site,
Mhm.
I would just say, we pulled out the trash on a sled, period, or on sleds, it was actually 2 sleds.
Pulled out
Pulled out the old trash from the mill site
with a sled.
on sleds, because
sled?
you might indicate that there was snow on the ground.
Yeah, I think that they'll figure that out. So it's
And then-
crossed out along the North River on a sled, okay.
Just
sled.
say that we pulled out the old trash from the mill site on
On a sled for the
sleds, period.
employees.
And then I would say,
Employees at the towns.
well, we brought the trash there and we disposed of it ourselves.
Oh,
So should just cross it out?
You could just say
The
that
trash was
the
disposed of?
trash
Was disposed of?
was,
sled to the town recycling.
no, we
center?
didn't sled to the recycling center, we slid to the road, we slid it out to the road,
Slid
threw it in my car, threw it in Ed's car, and we drove it down there and put the tires in the tire place where they told us to, and we put the other stuff in bulky waste, and,
How about the trash was disposed at the town's recycling center?
yes, that would be the most.
That next line doesn't read right.
Another workday?
No, also on the TC's project list is,
Is the removal?
the other removal of, removal is
Is the removal, or is the removal?
removal of the large limbs and blowdowns that have fallen across trails on the town property behind the office building complex, okay?
Where you talk about LiDAR, I would not say, I mean, LiDAR does show images in 3D, but our purpose was to, if you look at like just a LiDAR image, it just looks like, that's a 3D image, but our purpose is to create a topographic map. So I would say,
Just get rid
might be a resource for
mapping,
topographic mapping for Kennard.
for Kennard period? Or for Kennard and possibly other parcels?
Yes, and possibly other parcels. I just wouldn't say it shows the images in 3D, I'd just say,
I'm gonna cross out,
Similar to the Google Earth.
cross it out too.
but our use of it isn't, it's only useful to us, really, to be able to create a topographic map.
I'm
Just,
gonna take out that last sentence too, Sam, because it's
Okay,
too much information.
okay.
yeah, I think that's better to just take that out. And under the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions meeting, put a hyphen in all day program.
For LRWA, executive needs a cap,
No.
capitalization,
Okay, you got the other one I just mentioned, right?
huh? The-
Oh, in the paragraph
the
before that,
hyphen?
the hyphen?
I got it.
Okay, there actually should be a hyphen, probably on the first page under announcements, first line. Thank you gifts, maybe put a hyphen in thank you. Because the two words together
I don't know.
serve as an,
Volunteers received.
You want a hyphen between thank you?
thanking you, yeah. Director, Ms. Chris Boston. Dan Kern, okay, under Bear Paw Regional Greenways, comma after director.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 6 needs a partial parentheses under correspondence, third line. See the number 6?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the commission was previously copied on an intent to cut for this parcel. I think you want the word on.
No, it has a different meaning. It means it was sent to us.
Yeah, I would still have put.
So what
on.
other word would you like? Sent? An intent to cut?
Yeah,
It meant that they copied something and they sent it to us.
yeah. Why don't you just say this sent? Do you want to say an intent to cut application, or,
No, I only call them intent to cut.
okay,
And it's notification anyway, it's not an application.
yeah, true. And take out the period after Susan Mooney, secretary.
Oh, yeah. November 19. Your turn, Liz.
All right, I make a motion that we accept the November 19th, 2018 Conservation Commission minutes as amended.
As amended.
Okay, any further discussion?
It wasn't seconded.
I did.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Sorry. I probably
Sam
just-
never seconds. I guess, can't?
I can as
You
chair.
can break a tie.
Oh, okay.
I wear one once in a while.
He's like the vice president of the United States. He can break the tie, right?
Okay, hearing no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain? Nope, okay.
Oh, my God. Thank you.
Anybody
I do have one other thing,
Okay,
One more what?
where you talk about the feet of frontage on Pawtuckaway Pond. I mean, it really is considered Pawtuckaway Lake by everybody.
However,
Pawtuckaway Lake Improvement Association.
however, on all maps issued
No.
by the government,
Not all maps.
it is a pond. And where did I see a document recently? Oh, Pawtuckaway Pond, right there. But no, I read something else that was Pawtuckaway Pond. Oh, it was in the master plan.
Yeah, all right. I think
I-
it's
I
time to
know,
update
I
it to
know.
lake,
I
because that's what everybody calls it
Do you
in
know
this
why
town.
it's called a pond rather than a lake? Do you want to know the reason?
Probably-
Scientific reason, the limnetic reason?
Okay,
If light can't reach the bottom, it is a lake. If light can reach the bottom, it is a pond. And that's the definition.
wow, I didn't know
Now you do?
that. No,
Sorry,
I thought
Liz.
it had
I
more to
can
do
change
with
it to
size.
lake if you want. I don't want to hurt your feelings.
well, I just think it's silly and archaic.
You know, I don't really care.
I know what you're saying, but I also feel like when we talk about the town beach, we talk about it as on
So
Pawtuckaway
where
Lake.
is this? Is it in the first set of minutes?
Second one. It's under potential gift.
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay.
I don't know, I know we already voted on it. but-
It's not a big deal. Got it.
List one and then put the other in parentheses?
No.
No, okay. Okay, anybody have anything else?
I'd like to adjourn.
Me
Is
too.
that a motion?
It is a motion.
I second it.
Who seconded it? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nobody opposed.
time
Okay,
is-
we
what's the
did it.
time?
Time is about 8:35.
8:35.